Somewhere in the rainforest right now, Cordyceps is taking control of an animal's body. Not metaphorically, literally. A microscopic fungal spore lands on an ant, attaches to its body, and starts spreading inside it like roots growing through soil. At first, the ant keeps acting normal. It follows trails, carries food, moves with the colony. But then something changes. The ant suddenly breaks formation and starts climbing upward alone, higher through the jungle, higher through the humidity, higher until it reaches the perfect leaf. And right before it loses control completely, it bites down onto the leaf like it's being remotely controlled. The ant hangs there, frozen. Rain pounds the canopy overhead. Wind moves through the trees. And slowly, something starts growing out of its head.
A dark fungal stalk pushes through the insect's skull, rising higher day by day, until it finally bursts open and releases spores onto the ants walking below, turning one infected ant into the beginning of another outbreak. Scientists call this process parasitic manipulation, but online, people call it the zombie fungus. And the terrifying part is, this thing is completely real. Researchers have discovered entire species of Cordyceps capable of hijacking living creatures. Some control ants, some manipulate spiders, and others infect insects so precisely that it almost looks intelligent, like the fungus knows exactly what it's doing. And once scientists started studying Cordyceps closely, the story became way stranger than most people realize. Because this isn't just some rare mushroom hidden deep in the jungle. Cordyceps inspired one of the biggest apocalypse shows ever made. Scientists are actively studying how fungi manipulate behavior, and researchers are becoming increasingly worried about what happens if certain fungal species adapt to a warming planet. Not because humans are about to become zombies, but because fungi may already be far more powerful than we understand. And to see how nature created something this disturbing, we need to go deep into the rainforest, where evolution turned a fungus into one of the most horrifying parasites on Earth.
The rainforest looks peaceful from above. Birds chirping, rain dripping from giant leaves, sunlight cutting through the trees. But on the forest floor, there's a war happening every second. Ant colonies patrol like armies, termites build underground fortresses, beetles crawl through rotting wood searching for food, and hidden among all of them are fungal spores. Tiny particles floating invisibly through the air, waiting. One spore lands on an ant. At first, nothing happens. The ant keeps working, it follows pheromone trails, carries leaves, and marches with the colony. But then the spore starts growing. Microscopic filaments begin spreading through the insect's body like roots pushing through dirt. Scientists used to think the fungus invaded the brain directly, but newer research suggests something even creepier. The fungus mostly wraps around the muscles, almost like a biological puppeteer pulling strings from outside the brain itself. Researchers found infected ants behaving so strangely that healthy ants immediately recognized something was wrong. And ant colonies are ruthless about it. If they detect an infected worker, they drag it away from the nest, because once the parasite reaches its final stage, the colony is in danger. The infected ant eventually climbs to a very specific location with the perfect humidity and temperature. Then comes the death grip. The jaws clamp down permanently. The fungus consumes the body from the inside, then erupts outward in a horrifying final act. A stalk bursts from the head. Spores rain down onto the forest floor below, directly onto the paths where more ants will walk. Like a sniper finding the perfect angle. And the scariest part? This strategy worked so well, Evolution kept refining it for millions of years. But Ophiocordyceps unilateralis is only one member of a much bigger fungal family, and some species evolved methods that are somehow even more disturbing. The group is broadly known as Cordyceps fungi, and once scientists started studying them closely, they realized these fungi weren't just infecting ants, they were infecting almost everything. Spiders, caterpillars, beetles, wasps. Different species evolved for different targets, like custom-built weapons. There's even a species that attacks spiders and manipulates them into building special webs designed specifically for the fungus. Think about how insane that is. The parasite doesn't just hijack movement, it changes behavior. Scientists still don't fully understand how. Some researchers believe the fungi release chemical compounds that interfere with the nervous system. Others think they manipulate muscles and internal signals in ways we still barely comprehend. Either way, the result looks terrifyingly intelligent. And this is where things start getting uncomfortable for humans. Because the more researchers studied fungi, the more they realized these organisms are far stranger than most people think. Fungi aren't plants. They're their own kingdom of life. And unlike animals, fungi survive by breaking other organisms down. Rotting trees, dead animals, insects. Decay is their business model. Which raises a disturbing question. If fungi evolved to control insects so efficiently, could something like that ever happen to us? That question exploded across the internet after one TV show made millions of people suddenly terrified of mushrooms. In January 2023, millions of people watched a woman stare at scientists across a table and say something chilling. Bomb the city.
Bom seluruh kota dan seluruh orang yang ada di dalamnya.
The scene came from The Last of Us. In the show, a mutated cordyceps fungus spreads through humans and collapses civilization. And after the episode aired, search engines exploded. Can cordyceps infect humans? Is zombie fungus real? Could this actually happen? And honestly, you can see why people freaked out. Because the real fungus already sounds fake. It already hijacks bodies, already changes behavior, already spreads through hosts. But here's the important part. Real cordyceps fungi are extremely specialized. A fungus evolved to infect ants usually can't suddenly infect humans. That's because parasites adapt very specifically to certain body temperatures, immune systems, and biology. Humans are incredibly different from insects. Our body temperature alone creates a huge barrier. Many fungi literally cannot survive inside us because we're too warm. But that doesn't mean fungi are harmless, because fungal infections already kill over 1 million people globally every year. Not through mind control, but through diseases most people barely even know exist. And scientists are becoming increasingly worried about what happens as the planet gets hotter. Inside hospitals around the world, doctors have been dealing with something quietly terrifying: drug-resistant fungi. One of the most famous examples is Candida auris, a fungus that spreads in healthcare settings, survives on surfaces for long periods, and can be extremely dangerous for vulnerable patients. What makes fungi difficult is that they're biologically closer to animals than bacteria are. That's because fungi are eukaryotes, just like us. Their cells are far more similar to human cells than bacteria are. So when scientists try to create antifungal drugs, they can't just carpet bomb the fungus without risking damage to the patient, too. It's like trying to burn down one house in a neighborhood without setting the others on fire. And climate change may be making things worse. Some researchers believe rising global temperatures could pressure fungi to adapt to warmer environments over time. That matters because human body heat has historically protected us from many fungal species.
If more fungi evolve heat tolerance, the list of organisms capable of infecting mammals could grow. Not zombie apocalypse stuff, real-world medical stuff. And this is where the story takes a weird turn. Because while one species of this fungus is basically a death sentence for an ant, humans are paying $50 a bottle for its cousin. The same fungal family connected to zombie insects is now sold in coffees, capsules, and performance supplements all over the world. Not all Cordyceps fungi behave like Cordyceps unilateralis. Species like Cordyceps militaris and Cordyceps sinensis are the ones commonly used in supplements and traditional medicine. For centuries, people in parts of Asia used certain Cordyceps species in traditional medicine. Stories spread about increased stamina and energy. According to legend, yak herders in the Himalayas noticed animals becoming unusually energetic after eating strange fungi growing from caterpillars. Eventually, humans started using them too. Today, Cordyceps supplements are everywhere. Powders, capsules, coffee blends, and yes, this is the same broader fungal family connected to zombie ants, which sounds insane when you say it out loud. Researchers are studying compounds inside Cordyceps for possible effects related to inflammation, energy metabolism, and immune function. But the science is still developing. Some studies show promising results. Others are less conclusive. And this is where fungi become weirdly fascinating, because they're not good or evil, they're opportunists. The same kingdom of life that decomposes dead forests also gave humanity antibiotics like penicillin. Fungi can destroy ecosystems. They can also save lives. Which means the real story here isn't about monsters. It's about evolution, about survival, about organisms becoming unbelievably efficient over millions of years.
Picture the rainforest one final time. An infected ant breaks away from its colony, climbs upward alone, and locks its jaws onto a leaf. Days later, spores drift onto the forest floor below. The cycle continues. No anger, no cruelty, no emotion, just evolution. That might be the most unsettling part of all. Cordyceps unilateralis isn't evil. It evolved this way because it worked. For millions of years, nature kept rewarding the strategy, until eventually, a fungus learned how to hijack another living creature with terrifying precision. And once you realize that, the rainforest starts feeling very different. Because underneath every leaf, hidden inside the dirt itself, there are silent battles happening all around us. Battles we almost never notice. And sometimes, one side learns how to control the other.